Ringer Fantasy Football Show. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I'm joined by Danny, Kelly, and Craig Horlbeck. And today it is Power Hour, where we power rank something every Wednesday. And this week we are power ranking the players we are not thankful for. We are not thankful for these people at all, right, DK?
It's the anti-spirit of the season, really, which is what we're going for.
These are the Steven Glanbergs of the season, derogatory.
Right.
Yeah.
We want them to sit alone eating the pudding.
We haven't been talking enough about how bad and annoying they've been.
These are just people that, like, there's just too much gratitude right now this week. You know, there's a lot of
overwhelming.
Exactly, overwhelming.
Everything's
gratitude.
going too well in the country, global. Like, I'm just like, it's time to be a little negative for once.
Yes, for once. So we wanted to just introduce a little negativity to your life because I'm sure no one has enough. And we, for the most part, stayed away from the burn book. These aren't, except for a couple people. These are new people that are bothering us that we hate.
Yes, we've talked enough about the burn books, the AJ Browns. Like, we shit on them all the time. These are the people who deserve more hate.
Exactly. So we thought that was a fitting spirit into Thanksgiving. So just a reminder. Also, I'm at home. I'm at home in my parents' house for Thanksgiving. I'm already here, and so hence my background looks different. And then a reminder, as we go to the end of the season, we cover the whole year. It's not just fantasy. So we do the real NFL playoffs. We do the draft. We do free agency. We do everything. DK's a draft expert. So we stick with us. We cover the playoffs. It's really fun. We do a good job. Honestly, off season, kind of weirder. Maybe better. So stick with us all year. But with that said, for Power Hour, we're going to take a quick break. This episode is presented by Chime. Bank smarter this season. Fantasy football is all about strategy. Well, here's a winning strategy for your money. Trade banking fees for fee-free banking, 1.5% cash back, getting paid when you say, and a higher APY on your savings. That's a lineup that wins. Stop banking the old way. Bank smarter through Chime. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and the secured Chime Visa credit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. members FDIC. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. Details at chime.com/fees info. With a qualifying direct deposit, earn 1.5% cash back on eligible secured Chime Visa credit card purchases. APY means annual percentage yield. Learn more at chime.com. All right, getting into Power Hour here. For those who don't know, this is the way it works. DK and Craig sent me a bunch of players they hated. Power ranked them all, and every 2 minutes you're going to hear this sound.
Man, what a song. I tell you what I am thankful for is Tom Tom.
The only people who don't disappoint us.
Tom Tom.
No.
However, we didn't really power rank these players today. Instead, we're going to go by the models. We're going to go by the analysis, the hardcore statistics, right, Craig?
That's right. Last year, we came up with our own proprietary model to determine how frustrating a player has been. And it was based off, when you're on your fantasy platform and you're looking at the projections each week. That dictates a lot. I got to say, even myself, a fantasy expert like myself, sometimes I will see that Romeo Doubs is projected more than Keenan Allen. And even if I like the matchup more from Keenan Allen, if Romeo Doubs is projected 10 and Keenan Allen is projected 9, it's hard for your brain to not be anchored to the 10. And this exercise is about our beloved Jalen Waddle. This is how we thought of it. Jalen Waddle last year had one of the most frustrating seasons in fantasy football history, or since at least this show's been around. And what we noticed is that every goddamn week, Jalen Waddle was projected 12, 13, 14 points, and the MF never delivered. And then we came up with the Waddle model, which is how often does this player actually reach the projection that is listed on the fantasy platform? And today we're going to go through the 10, 11 guys that reach that projection the least.
And to be clear here,
The Waddle model.
The Waddle
I love
model.
the Waddle model.
And you could argue that maybe you want, high variance players who are going to, like, when they go
Sure.
below it, they go a little below, but they go way over. Having said that, is undeniably infuriating when someone is projected for 15 points and they get like 6. It actually drives you crazy when it happens over and over, and you're like, they can't hit that number.
What's happiness, Heifetz? Expectation
minus reality, yeah. There you go. It's exactly.
A real, like, now the projections are starting to look fucked up when it's like week 10 and it's another 12er for DK Metcalf and he's not going to hit it.
It just bothers me.
That is what all these stats are now. It's like over expectation or whatever. Points over expectation, value over expectation. And like what we're trying to explain, as DK says, happiness is expectation minus reality. We're like, what is the happiness under expectation is really kind of what we're trying to quantify here. So happiness over. I guess that would be Ho. We'll figure out a better name for that. But with that said, we ranked these players based on how we were ranking them by how little they hit the Waddle model, like how high they are in the Waddle model, how infrequently they actually hit the number that they're projected for. And without further ado, we're going to power rank players in the Waddle model who have pissed us off this year, starting with number 1. Really, this is how, you want a good stat to match the eye test. And this guy, number 1, Brian Thomas Jr., the receiver from the Jaguars, 2 minutes on the clock here. DK, Brian Thomas Jr. has hit his projected figure 13% of the time this year.
He's hit on the Waddle model 1 out of 8 games played this season.
One time
game this year. He was, by the way, the wide receiver 8, 15th overall player in fantasy in average draft position prior to the season. Right now, he is not that high in the rankings. He is wide receiver 44 if you're looking at points per game. 8.8 points per game. That is like below replacement level. Think of some of the other receivers that can hit 8.8. Kayshon Boutte is right behind Brian Thomas in that rank. Trey Tucker, Romeo Doubs, Alec Pierce, Troy Franklin. These are guys you're picking up on the waiver wire. Brian Thomas was a almost first-round pick in fantasy drafts after going for 1,282 yards and 10 touchdowns as a rookie. I think expectations were sky high, obviously, for this guy. And he has flamed out harder, I think, than almost any player in fantasy football this season. He might be the most disappointing player in fantasy.
I mean, you could keep going outside of this year. I mean, like, when is the last time there has been a breakout rookie like a Brian Thomas who... I mean, I wouldn't say people expected him to be awesome coming in as a prospect. He was a late first-round pick, but he exploded. 87 catches, almost 1,300 yards, and 10 touchdowns as a rookie with Trevor Lawrence. If they get Liam Cohen coming in, I mean, 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns, I would have said, everybody would say that was his floor.
We thought he was the next, like, Justin Jefferson. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's, like, just legitimate questions now if he's good at all.
Right. And I think also, in addition to obviously just being disappointing in fantasy, he's been really disappointing. It just doesn't feel like he has. It almost feels like he has the yips. He has so many drops. He has 7 drops in 8 games after having 6 drops all of last season in 17 games. If you remember, I believe he finished 4th in total points among receivers last year. Something like that. It was he just was absolute rocket ship, and everybody was excited about what he was going to do this year, and he's absolutely flamed out. Yeah. I don't know if he's good. Like, I don't know if he'll come back at this point.
He will be one of the most fascinating talking points next offseason where Brian Thomas goes, and if he is the ultimate buy low, post-type sleeper.
The next tier, number 2, players who disappointed us here on the Waddle model, players we're not thankful for. DK, you put down just the Washington Commanders as a team. Yeah.
This is like real football and fantasy football. The Commanders have absolutely just cratered after being one of the most exciting, sexiest teams in the NFL last year. Jane Daniels came in as a rookie, lit it up. He was posting almost 22 points per game in fantasy. I think, and I said this in the offseason, I think he might be the hardest player to get in fantasy drafts coming into the season. And Jane Daniels so far has beaten the Waddle model 1 out of 6 games. And obviously, look, I understand that injuries are a huge part of this year, but that was always
which one was it? Was it the hamstring pull, or was it the knee sprain, or was it the elbow dislocation?
Right. And but I think kind of that is baked into the evaluation with Jane Daniels. That was why we were really nervous about him kind of coming into the NFL. Is like he has a really slight frame. Is he going to be able to hold up at the NFL level? He takes a lot of hits. I don't think he's taken like absurd hits once he's got to the league, but the injury thing has definitely been a huge factor, and he does not play well relative to what he is, when he's healthy. And we're seeing that with like Lamar this year too. So Jane Daniels, unfortunately, I understand that injuries have been a big part of this, but he's been one of the most disappointing players in the NFL this year, I'd say, in fantasy. And he might not come back this year. He obviously dislocated his elbow. But yeah, I mean, his rushing has gone down. His total production has gone down after averaging, like I said, 21 points per game last year. It's like down to 18 this year. So yeah, it's super disappointing. Obviously, he was supposed to be the chosen one. He was supposed to lead people to championships, and that's not happening.
I still believe
when Anakin said he was the chosen one, he also got his arm cut off. So
oh god,
whoa, my great call.
You were the chosen one.
Maybe he is.
Would you say it worked out for Anakin or no?
for a while.
He had a good career.
I mean, he kind of crushed for a long time.
Didn't work out for the younglings.
You know what I mean? We don't really know how old Darth Vader was when he died, do we? Do we have his age?
He looked old. But Shane Bowen, who the Giants just fired as the defensive coordinator, looks like he's 60 and he's like 37. So I don't know.
Yeah. So if Jaden turns into Darth, not a bad run, I would say. He's the commander of the Death Star. I mean, that's,
it's pretty sick.
The just to add to that real quick, Terry McLaurin also highly disappointed in fantasy. Obviously, injuries played a huge factor, but even when he was in, didn't really do a whole lot. His best game this year, 3 catches for 54 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, Bill Merritt, also who's in the burn book. The whole team has been a disaster.
Brian Robinson was traded, and some people maybe drafted him, and then Brian Robinson was traded. The whole team has just been horrific. So it's a good call.
Eckler tore his Achilles. Yep.
Yeah, just absolute disaster. TK, the next one here we have
top 3, baby.
You got all 3.
You eyeballed it really well. You eyeballed these guys suck ass. The third one, this one's just sad. This is an old Yeller situation. Alvin Kamara, the running back for the Saints.
Yeah, this one I actually was surprised how poorly he's done this year relative to I think what I had imagined. He isn't in the Waddle model. He's 2 out of 11. He has hit.
Wow.
He's hit
So
his projections, which haven't even been that high, and he's only hit it twice this season out of 11 tries. He's averaging 7.6 points per game, you guys.
I love the Waddle model.
7.6 points per game. He's behind Kyle Monangai, Kamani Vidal, Kenneth Gainwell, Kareem Hunt. Again, waiver wire additions. This guy was RB15 in ADP coming into the year, 37th overall. You were spending like a 3rd, 4th, 5th rounder on him. And I think age is catching up with him a little bit. He's been banged up. But this offense is atrocious. They're not passing him the ball. He has a career low target rate this season, just 10%. His touches are down. He's averaging 6 fewer touches per game this season than he did last year. He has 1 game with double-digit points in the last 5 weeks, and now he's hurt. So he didn't really help you in fantasy whatsoever.
And he's extremely loyal for reasons that remain unclear. He doesn't want to leave New Orleans.
This is the worst part. This motherfucker wants to retire a Saint. He was like, you want to go somewhere before the trade deadline. You want to go to Kansas City. You want to go play somewhere cool. And he's like, no, I want to retire here with the Saints, which I get it. Retiring in New Orleans is probably cool. And you know what? Kind of cool that he's actually like a loyal athlete. We used to say we wanted those. But you know what? I actually realized when he said that I don't want loyal athletes.
My deepest loyalty lies to my fantasy team.
Yeah.
If your team is basically never good, I don't think you need to be loyal. If your team always has a fighting shot, yeah, you'd be loyal. But if you guys are winning 4 games, like 4 out of 5 years in every decade, like you can go.
The Saints were good when they had Sean Payton and Drew Brees, and they should have made a Super Bowl and they were robbed of it. The problem is that Alvin Kamara, like maybe he doesn't know, the Saints are like just a money laundering operation that happened to be an NFL team.
When is the last time the Saints had a winning record?
2021. 2020, they should have beaten the Bucs in the playoffs when Tom Brady went and won the Super Bowl. The Saints were like winning that game.
2021, they were 9-8.
2023, they were 9-8.
Oh, you know what?
By the way, Alvin Kamara 1 touchdown this year total.
I mean, he looks not good. So this is hard. I will say though, surprising person in this list, but someone we've not talked enough about. This was a good snipe, Craig. You had among players we are not thankful for. Saquon Barkley.
This is a good one.
Saquon Barkley on the Waddle model, 3 out of 11 games he has reached his projection. 3 out of 11. I want to just honestly look at some of the raw numbers for a second. He is the RB17 in points per game. He is scoring 1 more point per game than Breece Hall and DeAndre Swift.
Oh.
He's averaging 62 yards rushing per game, which is also 17th. Last year he averaged 125. This year 62. Last year 125.
He was averaging a 60-yard touchdown every game last year.
He was averaging literally double last year, which was the second most of the last decade. He's averaging 3.7 yards per carry, which is 36th in the NFL. 3.6 yards a carry, 36th in the NFL. Last year it was 5.8, which was second. And to me, the biggest difference with this is the yards before contact. Mm-hmm. Last year he was first, 2.5 yards basically before contact. This year he's 20th, 1.4. And I really do think that like Do I think Saquon's worse? No. I mean, maybe the mileage is catching up to him a little bit, but I still think Saquon's
like a tiny
great.
bit, yeah.
Yes. I really do think all of it comes out to yards before contact. We talked about this with Derrick Henry when he was entering Baltimore, about how he went from the team with the lowest yards before contact to the teams with the highest yards before contact. And what did Derrick Henry do? He ran for 1,900 yards at 30 years old. It really is quite, I do think it's like you need to find the offensive line in the scheme and you will find the gem. And it's like even with Liam Cohen and the Jags this year, I got it wrong. I thought it was Tank Bigsby, but the process was correct. And look what Travis Etienne is doing. And what Liam Cohen did with the Bucs rushing game with Bucky Irving 2 years ago, like even what Ben Johnson is doing with DeAndre Swift, yards before contact is like the clearest sign of which players you should draft and which ones you shouldn't. And I guess we couldn't predict that was going to happen with the Eagles and the offensive line issues and the Kevin Patullo of it all. But I do think it all comes down to that.
I mean, I totally agree. I mean, also just Lane Johnson being banged up, and I still think multiple Eagles linemen got hurt in week 1, and they kind of just on the same play, and then they kind of kept playing through it. But the Eagles' offensive line hasn't been the same, and that's made the whole offense worse because the offensive line's banged up, so Saquon can't run. And also, it's about getting to the second level, which they talk about all the time. But the idea that if the line blocks it properly, if Saquon's able to get into the secondary and either make linebackers or ideally safeties and cornerbacks have to make a tackle, that's when he's able to make a play. And because Saquon was getting the 3 yards before contact, what that really means is it's being blocked as designed, and he's making 2 people miss because they're in the secondary. So that's how he's breaking off a 60-yard run in the fourth quarter every other week. That's what's missing.
Yeah, because, Kareem Hunt can probably get 3 yards just as good as Saquon can or close. It's what happens when you get to that second level that separates the great running backs from the average ones. And if you're not allowing your running back, it's like Derrick Henry. Once Derrick Henry gets like 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, like he's the best running back in the league. But before that, he's one of the worst. And so you need to get it's really obvious, but you got to give your best running backs room to run, and then they can actually showcase what their skills are.
We've said all the time Saquon's like a home run hitter. And I think it's kind of similar to if it's 380 feet to center field or whatever, and you hit it 360, it's pretty close to a home run, but it's a pop out, even if you hit it to the warning track. And I think that's what a lot of these Saquon runs are last year, where they were really close to be like it's a very thin margin between having a 60-yard touchdown run sometimes and like a 7-yard run, and he just hasn't had any of those pop. So.
He also has not had nearly as many goal-to-go rushes. I was just looking at his goal-to-go rush opportunities this year. He's had 10. Last year it was 22. I mean, he is 19th. Like Ashton Genty has just as many goal-to-go rushes on the fucking Raiders as Saquon does. So it's just bizarre.
Yeah. The Eagles line is, again, this is why originally everyone was saying you don't pay running backs, is because when you don't have an A-plus offensive line. That looks like this.
And they're averaging 4 less points a game this year, the Eagles. They scored 27 a game last year. They're putting up 23 a game this year.
Number 5 of players we're not thankful for. J.J. McCarthy and all of the Minnesota Vikings, specifically what J.J. McCarthy has done to the Minnesota Vikings. I have been very hard on McCarthy the last few weeks for the mechanical stuff and how, again, among qualifying passing seasons, J.J. McCarthy is like 851 out of 852. But we haven't talked enough about the effect this has on the other players. Justin Jefferson has surpassed his projected points this season 3 out of 11 weeks.
Were those with Wentz?
Most of them.
Yeah.
I mean, almost all of them, actually, because J.J. McCarthy, again, he had a high ankle sprain in week 2. Actually, I think they all were with Wentz, except for one last week.
Week 1, maybe.
McCarthy had this high ankle sprain. He missed 2 months. He came back. And the last 3 weeks with McCarthy, I mean, Jordan Addison last 3 weeks has fewer fantasy points than Terrell Shavers. Justin Jefferson is like outside the top 40 the last 3 weeks since McCarthy came back. I mean, Justin Jefferson's been worse than like Darnell Mooney. T.J. Hawkinson, who was like a top 2 tight end in fantasy football in 2023 or 2022. Hawkinson's like the 24th tight end in fantasy. He's like unplayable.
He's irrelevant. Yeah.
Aaron Jones is basically on a points per game basis, like Tony Pollard. Like none of the Vikings are playable. This team won 14 games last year and was unbelievable. Has multiple first-round picks all over the offense, and you literally, to me, this is fantasy purgatory. You can't bench Justin Jefferson, and also now J.J. McCarthy has a concussion that they say was reported on the flight back home. So now Max Brosmer, who was the quarterback at New Hampshire and the University of Minnesota, is going to start against the Seattle Seahawks next week. You can't bench Justin Jefferson, but he's not going to play well. This is a nightmare, Deacon. What are we going to do?
Or will he play well? Or is the question is Max Brosmer going to pass the Waddle model more than J.J. McCarthy?
Is he the next Josh Dobbs?
I mean, this is crazy. Also, the concussion thing, look, it's a very thin line when you start getting into whether a team is faking injuries or whatever to shadow bench a player because they don't want to bench J.J. McCarthy. And on one hand, yeah, it would be good. J.J. McCarthy got a concussion and he self-reported symptoms on the plane. That's good, and players should report concussions. It is undeniably the most convenient concussion I've ever seen in terms of, like, we literally were like, wow, this guy's unplayable. They're playing a top 3 defense next week, and then he has this. I don't know. I mean, if Max Brosmer comes out and plays well, it's actually it's almost borderline concerning. But the Vikings, to me, are a good example of, like, I don't know how you play Jordan Addison, who's like he's not even a top 60 receiver.
Tyrell Shavers, good call there. Criminy. Yeah, this is tough. I feel like a lot of these guys, as we're talking, it's just such a the thing that comes to my mind is, man, environment is so important, and that's like one of the harder things to predict prior to the season. Or maybe it's not that hard, and we just kind of ignore a lot of the signs.
For Jefferson and them.
Yeah, I'm just talking like, the offense environment. Obviously, for the Eagles, it's the offensive line fell apart, and then their offense fell apart. For the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy was... I mean, he's exponentially worse than I think anyone expected. I thought he would be okay. I thought he would. Yeah. I thought it would work. I didn't think it was going to be as good as last year with Sam Darnold, but I thought it would be okay and it would work. It has not.
We talked about this entering the season. It was very similar with the quarterback in Minnesota to the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay, where we were worried about it in 2023 with Darnold, and then they were so much better than we thought that entering this year, we're like, well, we basically are trusting Kevin O'Connell. The same way in Tampa Bay, when they swapped out Dave Canales for Liam Cohen, and we were a little worried about Tampa, and then it was totally fine. Then Liam Cohen leaves. We're like, well, this time it'll be fine. In Tampa, we're not. And so you look at Minnesota, we were like, well, what are the odds that J.J. McCarthy, every time he completes a pass, it'll feel like a miracle? And we're like, it's fine.
Not to toot my own horn, but I was low on Justin Jefferson this year. I had him outside of the first round because I was like, the risk is too high. All the other guys like CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase, even though half their Burrow got hurt and whatnot, but I was like, at least I know their quarterbacks are good. I don't know that for the Vikings.
The thing we need to come back to next year is I think that sometimes when we're like, oh, well, it becomes a statistical thing of like, well, what are the chances that the quarterback's bad? And we need to remember the emotions of what it's like to watch a really talented, healthy player not be able to get the football and what the toll it takes. Not about them, about me. It's about what it's like for us to watch Justin Jefferson. Like, I die a little inside every time Justin Jefferson's open and he doesn't get the ball. Probably hard for him, too.
And you can see that on his face.
Yeah. Number 6 here. Players you're not thankful for. Craig, your son, Lad McConkey, receiver for the Chargers. This is difficult for you.
I know. I think DK disagrees with this a little bit. I think DK is a bigger Lad defender. I have Lad in 2 of my 3 leagues this year, so I've kind of felt day to day how frustrating he's been. Waddle model, 4 out of 11 games, he's hit his projection. And so, look, he's the wide receiver 27 this year. Last year, he was the wide receiver 16, but he finished the season really, the last 10 weeks of the season, he was like a top 10 guy. And the tough part was like all of the underlying metrics are great. His yards per route run, he was like 8th in the NFL in yards per route run last year.
McConkey had 200 yards in the playoffs against the Texans.
He was like literally already in rarefied air of like Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill. Like he was putting up yards per route run stats like them. So kind of like the ceiling was the roof for Lad McConkey. And this year it's just been incredibly mediocre. And it's funny, if you look at everything, it's like target rate's the same, snaps are the same, the amount of routes he's running are the same. The biggest difference is like explosive play rate. And last year, you look at what he did. Last year, he had a 25% explosive play rate, which is incredibly... Jackson Smith-Njigba has a 25% explosive play rate this year right now.
Wow.
And that's what Lad McConkey was doing last year. And this year, it's like down to 15%, which is a normal number. And I'm wondering...
like the touchdown rate for quarterbacks. Like if it's like an outlier number, you have to kind of assume it's going to go down.
Like, I think Lad's good. I think Lad is probably somewhere between last year and this year. And it's hard. It feels like every season we say with the Chargers, well, you have to throw out this year and we'll pick things back up next year because this year's a disaster. Their team is like fine, but like the offensive line, it's just like they're just not doing what they could be doing based on what we saw early on in the season. He's not scoring that many touchdowns. So it's just been mediocre.
Yeah. I think the post-mortem thing with Lad in terms of like what are the lessons that we learned here, and projecting this second-year explosion from Ladd McConkey when it just hasn't come is, I think a couple things happened that stifled this. In addition to the team is just not as explosive, all that stuff. Quentin Johnston was like a massive sensation for the first month of the season or whatever it was. They signed Keenan Allen with 2 weeks left in the preseason, and he came in and stole a bunch of targets.
If you drafted Ladd McConkey in the third round, it's such a kick in the nuts for Quentin Johnston, Oronde Gadsden, and Keenan Allen to be better than him.
No, I mean, look, people in the dynasty streets liked Oronde Gadsden. He's like a good receiver-esque type tight end, but no, I don't think anyone expected him to do this early and this dramatically.
But again, his target rate is exactly the same this year as it was last year. It's the fact that every time they threw to him last year, it was like a 30-yard play, and that's just not happening this year.
Yeah.
Ladd's been infuriating.
Which is maybe we should have.
Though.
He is good. I think he's going to end up being between last year and this year. Is he the wide receiver 8? No. But is he probably the wide receiver 15 or 16? Yes. He's not the wide receiver 27, which he is this year.
I think if the Bills had drafted Ladd McConkey instead of Keon Coleman, the Bills probably would have made the Super Bowl last year and might make another Super Bowl. And they won't because they took Keon Coleman, who's a healthy scratch for them currently.
Dude, Ladd on the Bills would be a lot of fun.
Imagine if Ladd McConkey was the one, Khalil Shakir was their number 2, Dalton Kincaid was their third option when he's healthy. And then they had James Cook instead of Keon Coleman, who literally is not being dressed for games because he can't play football. Yeah. Anyway, other than that, okay.
Dude, all these sliding door moments in the NFL are tough. All the choices. What if the fucking Chiefs had drafted Ladd?
The Chiefs traded up with the Bills.
I'm happy Ladd's on the Chargers. I think it's fun and it's good for Herbert. I like it. It just needs to work.
Yeah.
The offensive line needs to block and not tear all of their ligaments in their knee every year.
Yeah. Come on, get on that, Joe.
That would help.
What are you fucking doing? Next up, we should name this after this guy. Number 7 on the list of players we are not thankful for. We should just name the annual we're not thankful list after this person. Kyle Pitts.
At this point, I just feel bad.
I think it's my fault. It's not his fault anymore.
About him anymore. Yeah.
It's my fault. It's not Kyle Pitts' fault.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on you.
Shame on me. Yeah, exactly. Fool me twice, won't be. Yeah.
You're not going to be shaming me.
Not going to be shamed again. Sometimes when Kyle Pitts drops a pass, I just think of that line in 8 Mile in the beginning of the rap battle where he's like, I'm sick of this motherfucker. I fucking hate him.
What's the Waddle model?
The Waddle model on Kyle Pitts is he has failed to hit it 7 out of 11 weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't think that even tells the full story because he's never really gone over it by any meaningful amount. Yeah. Kyle Pitts, I have him in the Ringer League, and my team's doing well. I'm in first place, and tight end is this gaping black hole for me because I think one of you actually someone cut Kyle Pitts when he went on bye in week 5, and I picked him up, and I'm like, man, maybe Kyle Pitts will make me, it's never worked out for anyone else, but could work for me. And since the bye,
they delude themselves into believing something that it'll work, but yeah.
Never works for anyone, but it could work for us. Since the bye, when I added Kyle Pitts, he has 3 points, 9, 10, 5, 4, 2, and 3 points. Kyle Pitts has 11 touchdowns in 5 seasons. This guy averages 2 touchdowns a season.
And mind you, Mooney's hurt the whole season. Drake London's been out. Drake London didn't play last week. Kyle Pitts had 2 catches for 25 yards.
And honestly, he did a Kadarius Toney. He dropped a pass off his chest that was pick 6. So he honestly had a super net. He would have been better. The Falcons would have won by more if he didn't play it down.
I think we can officially say that we are now. It is over. We're never going to mention Kyle Pitts' name again in fantasy.
Until next August.
No, but this is the thing. So in real life, in fantasy, I'm like, we'll never take him again, this experiment. So we're in year 5 of Kyle Pitts. But here's the thing. He's taken 4th overall. He had 1,000 yards as a rookie. Hurt his MCL. Lost some explosiveness. But also, he's just a big receiver. He's not a tight end. He's a below-average receiver. And frankly, he doesn't have the habits of an elite NFL player. I think that's clear at this point. They're still talking about him developing offenses. He's no details. He doesn't know the soft spots and none of stuff. Having said that, he's a free agent. Someone else is going to sign him. Atlanta's not going to resign him. He's going to go somewhere. And guess what? We're going to talk ourselves into... Dude, Kyle Pitts, but he signed with the Rams. Like, he's going to be in these Sean McVay 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets. He's going to sign somewhere, and we're going to talk ourselves into Kyle Pitts again next year. And then we'll do it the year after, too, because, like, well, now he's a full offseason.
Which very famous Hall of Fame tight end is retiring after this season?
Oh, you think he's going to get the Chiefs? Fuck! Kyle Pitts in Kansas City.
That's the only way I think we would talk about him, as if he goes to the fucking Chiefs.
Kyle Pitts to Kansas City replaces Kelsey. I will say that's actually not bad because the Chiefs are the kings of, like, we don't care what this first-round guy did. We don't care what crime he committed. We don't care why he was cut. The Chiefs will give anyone who's a first-round pick, the Chiefs will give a flag.
Tyree, Kadarius Toney. Also, don't you think it's an ick that Kyle Pitts has senior next to his name? It just makes him feel old.
For someone who's done so little, yes, it's weird.
For someone who's 21 years old.
Like, he feels, when I watch him, he looks 31 to me.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't look... The player that looked so athletic in Florida and even his rookie year, like, he doesn't resemble that. But he's like a bad clear-out receiver.
God.
I'm trying to remember. Was he one of the guys that you guys tried to turn the key on, and I was just like, I can't do it.
Yes, you refused.
Yeah, Heifetz was going to pay you $40.
I offered you $40 to put him on a sleeper list.
He offered me cold hard cash.
He was going undrafted, basically.
And I was like,
he was going 150th.
I would rather have no one on my team.
Speaking of which,
I'd rather have no one.
Speaking of rather have, all right, number 8, Marvin Harrison Jr., Cardinals receiver, players we're not thankful for.
It's brutal. God.
Who also has hit the Waddle model 4 out of 11 weeks. And one of them, it's 3.5. He hit it exactly on the dot, which I don't even know what to do with that. It's really 3 out of 11 weeks.
That's DK, a push. That's a push, yeah.
You are, you're a draft expert at the Ringer. You're not under fire here. Literally everyone. Shart.
It's a shart.
You know what the irony is? It is a shart for Marvin Harrison Jr.
Dortch is better at this point.
Dortch is better. Mike Wilson's better.
I trust Dortch more.
You know what the irony is? Marvin Harrison Jr. was billed to us as this generational player. And I think both in fantasy football and also in real life, I think Marvin Harrison's a completely average player. Dude, maybe the most average receiver in the NFL.
I love that Michael Wilson in the first game that Marvin Harrison Jr. is out has 18 targets. He has 185 yards. He caught 15 balls. And I was like, DK, is that going to happen again? Intrusive thought. Is he better than Marvin Harrison Jr.? And all of us are like, no, come on. There's no way he's going to do that again. Literally the next week, he has 10 catches for 118 yards. Literally 2 games better than Marvin Harrison Jr. has ever had. In the first 2 games Michael Wilson has played without Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
He's just not impressive.
It's getting tough to watch.
I'm happy, Heifetz. I feel like you and I were the most staunchly like, I don't want anything to do with them, and I don't care. If I miss out, I'll miss out.
There's a lesson. Probably the badge of honor I wear the most I've never had Marvin Harrison Jr. on any team in any league, and I have 10 leagues, and I've never had him on any of my teams. And I will say, what's so funny? The dumbest takes we have end up being the best. Our joke that if this motherfucker was still Marvin Harrison's son, but just named Fred, and you didn't have to say Marvin Harrison Jr. the whole time, he would have been drafted behind Blake Neighbors. I think that's true.
If his name was Fred McDougal.
If his name was Fred McDougal, son of Marvin Harrison, like, he wouldn't have been drafted that high. But it's statistically, he averages 10 fantasy points a game. I mean, statistically, he's average. Statistically, his yards per route run this season is 1.63 for Marvin Harrison. He's tied with Jacoby Myers, just ahead of Matt Collins, just behind Josh Palmer. Those are the 3 most average fucking receivers in the league. Like, Matt Collins is a blocker. Like, you know what I mean? And then, but the other thing that's it, athletically, Marvin looks so average, and it's kind of like Shedeur Sanders not doing anything at the combine. And obviously different players, but you look back at Marvin Harrison not running a 40, and you're like, oh, maybe it's because he's really slow. And then you watch him play football, and he's really slow, and he doesn't have any NFL traits that are above average. I think his separation, his route running, like his contested catch, all these things. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess my favorite catch he had in college was against fucking Toledo.
We're going to have to do an investigation series in the offseason called Danny Kelly Investigates, and we're going to look back on busts and be like, how did we all miss Marvin Harrison Jr.? We're going to do that because it needs to be talked about.
I agree. We really should. Because honestly, his best game of the year was against Seattle, where he had a clutch stuff down the stretch. They were down 14, but they tied the game, and then Seattle won. Even that was Thursday football, which you kind of want to throw out. I'm just saying, his other best games this year are like Dallas, when Dallas was giving up 430 yards a game. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s other best game was against Seattle when they were down 38-7, and then he had those yards. Look, if you take those things out, like, he's got like 8 fantasy points a game. He's the 4th pick in the draft. With that, where every receiver behind him was good. Anyway, anyway, I'm not thankful for him.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Next up here, number 9, players you're not thankful. I was most surprised by this of any player anyone submitted. Craig, you said Jordan Love for the Packers you're not thankful for.
Look, I know that Waddle model 5 out of 11 games, which I guess isn't terrible, but it's the spike weeks aren't there. And I think what's tough about Jordan Love is I do think he's a good quarterback, and I think I've now accepted that he's just better in real life than he is in fantasy. And you always got to play. You're basically throwing darts to hit the pocket passer that's going to pop in fantasy every year. This year's hits are Stafford, obviously, Dak Prescott. If you count Herbert as a pocket passer, although he's been rushing a lot. But, there's like 2 or 3 pocket passers who hit every year. Jordan Love, man, is the quarterback 18. He has 2 touchdowns in his last 4 games. They just don't pass the ball that much. They just don't. They have the 3rd lowest pass rate in the NFL, and their defense is good. Their defense is top 5 in points allowed. And it's like Jordan Love, arm talent-wise, might be one of the best passers in the league. And he's just a little bit of a game manager. And I think he's a really frustrating player to watch at times. It feels like the easy stuff is hard and the hard stuff is easy.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
And it's just like, I think of him in a different way now. I think this was the year I was like, all right, this is year 3. Last year he had the knee injury in Brazil to start the season. We I guess we'll throw out the whole year. And now it's like, this is a team that runs the ball, that game manages, and that wins low-scoring games, and that's who Jordan Love is.
Well, the game managers thing is funny because I think you're right that Matt LaFleur kind of wants a game manager. Like, Stephen Reeves has the joke where Matt LaFleur just wants to run the ball to impress his friends, which I think is a little true. Yeah. But, DK, I don't know. It's funny because you're right that I think Jordan Love sometimes gets pigeonholed to be a game manager, but Jordan Love also has all the instincts of complimentary and derogatory of, like, a Trevor Lawrence. Where incredible plays, you're like, I don't know how many people, I don't even know if there's 5 other people who can make that throw on the planet.
Yep.
And also, Jordan Love has a lot of instincts to do dumb shit.
Yeah. And it's funny because he is how many years into his career now? Obviously, he's sat for like 4 years.
How do you count?
So that,
Technically, this is like his 6th year, but it's his 3rd year as a starter, yeah.
And I'm still not really sure what to think of him. It's kind of in the same vein as Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has just started every year of his career, so it's like
Jordan Love has played better than
I'm not
Trevor
saying
Lawrence.
he's not. I'm not saying he's as bad. Like, I'm pretty much out on Lawrence at this point, but like I still think it's more like I just don't know if he's the real deal. You know what I mean? I think I'm just not quite sold that he is in that elite echelon of quarterback.
Sometimes
he's like a quarterback you can win with, but not win because of.
Sometimes the way I look at a quarterback, especially in fantasy, but also in real life, is like, if they're playing a tough defense, do I second guess playing them in fantasy? Do I think about them as potentially losing the game for the team? And Jordan Love is a guy where it's like, if they play the Cowboys, absolutely start Jordan Love. But if they play Denver, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, there are guys like that where I'm like, Mahomes set it, forget. Josh Allen set it, forget. Matt Stafford, I don't care. He'll figure it out. Like, I trust those guys. Jordan Love is not in that camp to me.
If you had to not taking a guy for the rest of their career and not taking someone for next week, but if you had to win the Super Bowl next season, and let's just say everyone's healthy, so everyone's like magically back to 100% health, I kind of want to just play this game for 2 seconds of where you would take Jordan Love. You'd to win the Super Bowl next year.
Wait, on their current teams, or I'm starting a new team?
You're starting a new team, and you get to this quarterback. Because I'm trying to not punish Burrow for having an injury, you know what I mean? Or it's a fresh team, but I think obviously Patrick Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen, you would take over him, right? Mm-hmm. I think Matt Stafford for next season, you would certainly take. Dak, right?
Yep.
That's all unanimous. Those are 5 guys. Herbert, that's 6. Burrow is 7.
Yep.
Drake May.
That's where you start to talk about him. Yeah, maybe Drake
I would
May.
take Drake May 100%.
DK, would you take Drake May over Jordan Love for just next year?
Yeah, probably. I think that's like we're in the right area code now.
Oh, I'm not. I don't even blink at that.
What about Baker Mayfield, fully healthy?
I think I'd take Jordan Love.
Oh, I love Baker. Jordan Love.
I'm pretty confident I would take Jordan Love.
I think he's in that group though. Jordan Love and Baker, and it's now now we're in the debate zone.
What about Jalen Hurts, the reigning quarterback
I would take Jordan
Super
Love.
Bowl?
The guy who went 17-0 at one point in 17
Super
games
Bowl
that he finished.
MVP.
If the team is not built around him like the Eagles is, I'm taking Jordan Love. If it's a replacement,
Jalen Hurts is going to be the best argument ever forever because he's never played on a like every time his team is even going back to college, he just had a Death Star college team or he didn't play that well. Like for his entire life.
I'm taking Jaden Daniels over Jordan Love too.
I'll take fully healthy Jaden, but I would take Love over Hurts. So I guess the answer is he's about 12.
Jaden.
CJ Stroud?
Jaden deserves to go quite a bit higher, I think.
No, I can't get there with Stroud.
I would take Jordan Love over Stroud right now.
Me too.
Goff. What about Jared Goff or Jordan Love?
That's close.
That is close.
Goff is another guy where when it's Death Star, when it's Sean McVay with a Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods in a perfect new avant-garde offense, or Detroit with the best O-line and all these weapons and stuff. But
I think I would take Jordan Love because if you swap the teams they're on right now, if Jared Goff's on the Packers, it's probably not going well. And if Jordan Love's on the Lions, they're fine.
I totally agree. Yeah, I would take Jordan Love. So I think the answer is he's like 11.
11, 12-ish, yeah.
Okay.
Brock Purdy?
I'm too tainted by last night. What the fuck was that?
What about Bo Nix? Did we mention him?
Stop.
What about
Jackson
you
Dart?
mentioned CJ Stroud, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we said Love over Stroud.
I would
Caleb?
take Love over Stroud.
Caleb,
Love.
we're taking.
I would take Love over Caleb.
Yeah.
Caleb's got 6 good weeks here.
Davis Mills?
Daniel Jones? Sam Darnold?
Joe
Then
Flacco.
We're starting to get into the real heavy, asterisk.
Dart's probably ahead of him, so that's 12. Yeah. Okay. The Ringer Fantasy Football Show is brought to you by FanDuel. This Thanksgiving, FanDuel is introducing a brand new way to parlay together. It's called Pass the Leg. Here's how it works. Start a group, add your pick, and then pass it to your friends so they can add theirs. When everyone is done, you can each lock in the parlay with your own funds. On top, everyone gets a 50% profit boost to use on their build. I would have to put in, I think, Amon-Ra St. Brown overs and everything versus the Packers. I don't like the Packers cornerbacks. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think teams are going to focus on Jameson Williams, stopping him and just letting Amon-Ra rack up catches and yards. So I like Amon-Ra. I also, as long as Rashee Rice plays, man, I don't think the Dallas cornerbacks can touch Rashee Rice. Honestly, just George Pickens, Rashee Rice, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know that's really basic, but honestly, the number is going to be high. But I would just do those 3 guys. I think it's going to be perfectly fine. And Missouri, get ready because FanDuel's going live on December 1st. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. This episode is brought to you by American Eagle. Gift, hooray. Give great jeans this holiday season with American Eagle. They have all the wish list worthy new arrivals for everyone on your list, including you. Check out the comfy, cozy sweaters, soft fleece, sweatshirts, hoodies, flannels, and so much more. Plus, you'll love their trending jeans like the high-waisted stovepipe, original straight, boot cut, and a whole bunch of other fits. They've got every style and everyone covered. You can check it all out at ae.com or just go to the store. Okay, next one here. Craig, you had players you're not thankful for. Courtland Sutton on the Broncos.
5 out of 11 Waddle models he's hit. And I think the problem with Courtland Sutton is that the Broncos were everyone's pick this year, right? The Broncos were the team to make the leap. Everybody was excited about Bo Nix, him having the first time of his career. He's had the same offensive coordinator and head coach and quarterbacks coach and all this stuff. And technically, if you look at the record, they're 9-2, and that has happened. But it's not because of Courtland Sutton. And it's really, really frustrating. The back half of the year, he's been unplayable. He's been the wide receiver 51 for the last 5 weeks. And honestly, the biggest difference is what's happening in the red zone and the end zone. And I don't think anybody on earth could have predicted this, but Troy Franklin is the option in the red zone and in the end zone, not Courtland Sutton. And there's a randomly neat stat that I found last night. Last year, Courtland Sutton was 4th in the league in red zone targets with 15. This year, Troy Franklin is 4th in the league in red zone targets with 14. But through 11 weeks, that last year and this year, Courtland Sutton was 4th last year in red zone targets after 11 weeks. In the NFL, this year, Troy Franklin has basically just slotted right in his place and is now 4th in the NFL in red zone targets is Troy Franklin. If you combine red zone and end zone targets through 11 weeks, last year Sutton had 24. This year Franklin has 24. Like they're just Franklin is the guy they throw to in the red zone now, and that's all it is.
That was Craig's really intellectual way of saying that he drafted Courtland Sutton in the Ringer League, and he's going to miss the playoffs because of Courtland Sutton.
He's hurting me. I have Troy Franklin in another league, so that's nice.
Hurting me.
But yeah, he's hurting me. I have Lad in the Ringer League. I have Lad McConkey. I have Courtland Sutton. I have Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy. It's a mess.
You guys remember Randy Quaid in Independence Day? I've been saying it. I've been saying it for 10 damn years. Do not trust Sean fucking Payton. Do not shackle yourself to the whims of this egomaniac freaking guy that decides to make someone new, the focal point of his offense every fucking week.
Danny Kelly has. Oh, I love Tom.
He just wants to piss you off. He doesn't. He actually does. It's not that he doesn't care about your feelings. He actually wants to hurt your feelings. He hates you. He wants you to feel pain.
He likes winning.
Well, Danny Kelly has a long fuse.
That's fine. He doesn't like DK. He doesn't like when I win though.
When DK is done with someone, his hit rate is like 96%. That should just be a rule. If DK is like, nope, not for me. We're out. We should move them to 150th on our rankings sight unseen. Be like, don't take these people.
Is there a more random player to just like become a thing than Troy Franklin?
Oh, there's been some randoms. Because at least Troy Franklin played with Bo Nix in college, which is, there's been some. Honestly, the number one ever is Travis Fulgham, who was like the number one receiver in football for a month and then never played in the NFL again.
I guess like Jackson Smith and Jigba being the best receiver in the league all of a sudden is definitely a big jump. But Troy Franklin being very relevant, not sure anybody had that on their bingo card.
That's good though. There's been a lot of There's been a lot of randos.
It's not, to me. It's like, honestly, it's nothing against Troy Franklin. Like, he might actually be really good. His numbers in college were outstanding. Yeah. It's just you can't trust anybody week in and week out with this team. Pat Bryant's gonna have a fucking 120 yards and a touchdown this next game.
Pat Bryant has more fantasy points than Jordan Addison. The last.
You mean the guy Sean Payton compared to Michael Thomas?
The in the fantasy championship, it's going to be Evan Ingram with 3 touchdowns. Because
we're getting out of the Sean. This is going to be a tattoo. We're getting out of the Sean Payton business next year. Probably the Matt LaFleur business too. Number 11.
10 damn years.
I have such strong feelings about that specific character in that movie, but I'll save him.
Really?
I've never told you this. That's my all-time. So in the rewatchables, which you produce here at the Ringer, there is a category called nitpicks.
Sure.
My number one nitpick in any movie ever is into Independence Day.
What is it?
Because that character, the guy who's like the pilot, who just was like, he's been talking about getting abducted by aliens and everyone thinks he's crazy. And then like aliens invade the earth and they destroy everything. And then there's like a resistance meeting and they're like, does anyone have a pilot? And he stands up and he's like, I actually got abducted by aliens. And everyone fucking laughs at him.
Still don't believe him.
Everyone fucking laughs at this fucking guy. They're at the meeting because the aliens have invaded the earth and burned all of their homes, and it's a fucking rescue shelter. They're all sleeping on cots because aliens have invaded the earth. And 100 people point and laugh at this fucking guy because he says he was abducted by aliens.
Well, it goes to show that people don't ever want to be wrong, you know?
I know.
Double down on the take.
It's anchoring.
Yes. Human beings will do anything rather than admit that they were wrong about something.
This is why we still keep drafting Kyle Pitts every fucking year.
Yes.
Anyway, oh my God. 11 here, we're just going to include it because we can't do people we're not thankful for without doing the Jets. Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson, which again, this was also something we were so close because we were saying you probably shouldn't draft the Jets. And we should have just said, just don't fucking take these people ever.
I think, this one's a little hard because we all knew Justin Fields was risky. I thought the main risk with him was that he would get hurt, and he did get hurt. But he also he had games where it just felt like impossible how few yards he was able to create as a quarterback. He had starts this year with 27 yards on 11 attempts, 45 yards on 17 attempts, 46 yards on 12 attempts, and 54 yards on 11 attempts.
And also, the last one you just said, the 54 yards includes a 40-yard screen to Breece Hall. He had 14 yards in that game.
My favorite expression is sometimes football seems really easy and sometimes it seems really fucking hard. Like, there's every single game that Justin Fields started where he's a quarterback, other than week 1, weirdly enough, was like they can't move the football. Like, they can't complete a pass. And then obviously, that hurts the rest of the players on the team. Breece Hall's actually been somewhat usable despite all of this, but obviously Garrett Wilson, he scored 4 out of 7 on the Waddle model, not the worst. Justin Fields hit 5 out of 9 on the Waddle model, which isn't terrible unless you consider the lows were like single digits. You know what I mean? He's like fucking you on those games where he's not, he's not giving you like 11 points. He's giving you like 4 points. And that really screws you in that certain week. So I think even though he had a couple of games with over 20 points, he is one of the most frustrating players in fantasy this year, because then you just like plug him into your lineup the next week and he gives you 3 or whatever.
Yeah, he was able to garbage time his way into like decent fantasy performances against bad defenses. Like he had 27 against Miami, 25 against Dallas. He had 20 against the Bengals. It's just when he has to actually play a decent defense and try to be competitive in a game that he throws for 46 yards.
He had 4 of his games out of 9. He scored less than 7 points, and in 3 of those, he scored less than 5.
I liked Fields this year for fantasy.
Yeah.
I like Fields this year for fantasy because I felt that he was cheap, and the upside was there, and the upside was immediately there. The downside as a passer, even though we joked about being a Navy quarterback, I don't know if I thought it was possible to start 4 games and fail to hit 55 yards passing 4 times.
Our expectations were low, but holy fuck, meme.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Those are the players you're not thankful for. Although to be honest, Kyle Pitts is easily. I hate him more than everyone else on the list combined, including Marvin Harrison Jr. I want to get to
Heifetz is on a kick with hating players these days.
We're gonna get to fantasy court in a moment, but first I want to hit these Thanksgiving games because we're doing this coming out on a Wednesday. The Thanksgiving games, I feel like, are just good now. I feel like this started a few years ago, but the Thanksgiving games this year rip. I mean, it's Packers at Lions is the early game. The second game is Chiefs at Dallas, and then the third game is Bengals with Burrow coming back at Baltimore, which is, I don't know. I feel like these games are awesome, but I want to start Packers at Lions. This is literally Jared Goff versus Jordan Love, but DK, what do you...
To me, this is 2 mildly disappointing teams, at least based on expectations. Because before the year, I'm like, these 2 are some of the favorites for the Super Bowl. Now I'm like, they're good, but really flawed. I don't really know what to make of either of them. So I think both teams have a chance to kind of grab some momentum, grab some confidence coming out of this game. In DVOA, the Packers are 6th, the Lions are 4th. So obviously, this is a good matchup.
But also, paper. Week 1, I mean, the Packers beat the Lions 27-13, but that game was like 27-6 or whatever with 10 minutes left.
Yeah. So, I think the Packers defense has not been as impressive as I thought it was going to be with the addition of Micah Parsons. So, maybe they have a chance to kind of like pick things up going on. It's not like they're a bad defense, but I just thought they were going to be like world beaters, especially after watching week 1. And then I think on the Lions side, Jahmyr Gibbs last week was incredible, but I think the Dan Campbell calling plays experiment is still kind of gone back and forth. We got to get Jameson Williams back going. He had 0 points on a game where the Lions had like 500 yards or whatever it was. There was 1,000 yards in that game, and Jameson Williams had 0. So I think, again, not just from a fantasy point of view, but I think Jameson Williams really changes the Lions offense. His ability to stretch the field, change the geometry of how defense will defend them. He can take a slant and take it 80 yards for a touchdown at any given point. So they got to get him more involved. And then, from the Packers' point of view, it'll be interesting to see if Josh Jacobs comes back. I thought Emmanuel Wilson looked pretty good last week, honestly. So maybe they don't rush him back. But otherwise, good divisional rivalry game here. I'm excited to watch this one.
I don't want to be the guy who's like, we're going to learn a lot about these 2 teams in this game. But I do feel like I really the back 5, the back third of the schedule this year in the NFL is so jammed with like division matchups. There's often there's handfuls of situations where it's like the Bengals play the Steelers, the Ravens, and then the Steelers again. There's a lot of like you play the same team twice in 3 weeks, and so a lot of things will change. But I do feel like if one of these teams in this game can beat the other team handedly, I will think differently about them. Like if this is just like a muddy game and one team wins 21-20, I'm not sure. But if one of these teams can win by 2 scores, because I don't feel particularly confident with either of them right now. So I actually do think I will be curious to see like the outcome of this game, and that will affect how I judge them. If I think either of these teams are actually a playoff threat this year. Because right now I don't think either are. Maybe the Lions.
I like the Packers as a team. If the Packers beat the Lions' ass, I'll be sad. and if the Lions beat the Packers' ass, I'll be kind of happy. I don't know why I feel that way. I can't explain it.
The Lions are really likable.
Yeah. The Packers spanked the Lions in week 1. I kind of want to see the Lions spank the Packers in this game, to be honest. I just would like to see that.
Here is who the Packers have beaten this year. Week 1, they beat Detroit.
By a lot. That game was not competitive.
Yeah. That made everyone
the only
think,
non-competitive
the Lions
game
were
I've
fucked.
ever seen from the Lions in the last 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Week 2, they beat Washington. Then they tied the Cowboys. They beat the Bengals without Joe Burrow. They beat the Cardinals. They beat the Steelers. They beat the Giants without Jackson Dart. And they beat J.J. McCarthy.
They also lost to the Browns and lost to the Panthers as 13-point favorites.
It's one of the more unimpressive schedules you'll find. Is they basically beat the Lions week 1 and that's it.
The Packers are. It's weird because I think Matt LaFleur is unambiguously a good coach. The Packers also. It's hard to draw any conclusion about them other than they just consistently seem like the whole is less than the sum of the parts. Like the defense is good, but it's considering the amount of first-round picks that have been invested, it's just not great. The cornerback room is kind of a mess. The injuries in Green Bay and everything, but just it's just very disappointing all around. Yeah.
What do you guys think is the most Thanksgiving matchup? Do the Bears need to be in it? Is it Lions-Packers? Is it Bears-Packers?
Is high. Lions-Packers is really high.
That's pretty
I think it needs to be the Lions in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's either the Cowboys or the Lions because they're the teams who play on Thanksgiving every year. But I think the Lions. I feel like something about the Lions because they're bad for so long. It just sticks in your mind more that the Lion. I
just picture the Lions on Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Wait. Tell me what are the 2 teams in the game and what stadium? Who's home?
Well,
What's
Detroit.
the most Thanksgiving
Detroit,
matchup?
Dallas are always home. So I think it's in Detroit. And honestly, probably Lions Bears last year. That's very Thanksgiving. I think it's that Vikings or Packers.
I think it might be this. Packers in Detroit might be the most Thanksgiving matchup.
Very Thanksgiving. The other very Thanksgiving game, honestly, Washington-Dallas, I think, is very Thanksgiving. Washington in Dallas is very Thanksgiving.
I know. I was going to say Washington, too, is another team that it's like almost like their team colors remind me of like a
turkey.
cornucopia.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Washington.
Their jerseys look like the food on your plate.
You could almost say it's giving.
Yeah. It's all like browns and reds and yellows. Autumnal.
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 Yeah, totally. It's like a fucking cornucopia puked on their uniforms.
Yeah,
this is what we got.
Look like a Pottery Barn threw up all over you. Okay, the second game here is Chiefs are at Cowboys, which this is a fun game. I mean, Mahomes on Thanksgiving is fun.
People are saying that this. Bill and Sal talked about this. Schefter tweeted about. It's like now there's like a ratings record that might be broken in this. People think that this might be the most watched Thursday night football game ever, or one of the most watched regular season games ever.
Yeah, they choose the rating. The way I don't totally understand it, but the way the ratings are calculated, everything is juiced in ways because it's undercounted, but it's also overcounted and everything. But yeah, the Cowboys Thanksgiving showcase is usually used to break the record every year. Like the Cowboys, they can put in week 1 this year and the opening night. Like the Cowboys, they kind of juice those big spots to dominate the top.
Totally. Also, the way the ratings are counted now, they've added in bars and restaurants like 3 years ago, which they never used to do. So now all the ratings are way up, and you can sell more ads against that. But
exactly.
But
it's a whole.
But yes, people think it. But I understand. I mean, the Cowboys are the most popular team in America. And then you have Mahomes, the Chiefs, and Kelsey, and I'm sure Taylor Swift will be there. And this probably will be the most watched regular season game ever.
What is the everyday fans' reaction to hearing the ratings of a game? Like
I'll tell you.
What's your dad like? If you told your dad what the ratings were, would he give a fuck?
This is what he would do. Dad, did you hear that the Cowboys-Chiefs game was the most watched regular season NFL game ever? He'd go, really? Wow. Anyway, can you help me cut the turkey? Which is like, you know what? That's kind of all it needs to be.
Icebreaker at like a fucking
It's
mixer.
something that you can look up from your phone and say, and the people in your family go, oh, wow.
It's one of those things that people talk about a lot, but I'm like, who cares about this? Like, I don't understand like what we're supposed to do with this information. It's like there's more people than ever. Isn't that
the leader of our country, the president of the United States cares about ratings, DK, so do I.
Well, I know. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, what does that do for the average person? If you told your mom, she'd be like, oh.
Should I ask her? I'm home. Should I ask her?
My mom wouldn't give a shit.
Yo,
I loved when Trump was in the box in the booth and Debo scored a touchdown. He's like, "There we go. That'll get the ratings up." Dude, closer game now.
This game also talk about things people don't care about. The Chiefs are kind of intertwined with Dallas. Mahomes grew up a Dallas fan. We're gonna fucking hear about that all day. That Mahomes was a Cowboys fan. They're gonna pull up photos of him. The Chiefs owners are big Dallas people. They're like Dallas oil money. The Chiefs were in Dallas before they were in Kansas City. And then they were.
Is that right?
Yes, they were the Dallas Texans, and they're like old oil money. And the son of this oil was Lamar Hunt, and he basically was like, "Fuck the NFL, I'm not going to buy a team. They want to sell me 20% of some team. They're like, screw that, I'm going to start a league." And he started the AFL with the Chiefs, which the Dallas Texans tried a few years, compete with the Cowboys, couldn't, moved to Kansas City. They're like, we're going to call them the Kansas City Texans, and his business partner was like, "You're a fucking idiot. That's stupid." So they named him the Kansas City Chiefs. But and so they started the AFL, and then that's why the AFC trophy, which the Chiefs always win, is called the Lamar Hunt Trophy, because he started the AFC and then merged it. And then so but also just they own the Chiefs family owns the Dallas MLS team. Like they're like board of trustees at SMU. I still kind of wonder if they drafted Rashee Rice, because Rashee Rice went to SMU and the owner of the Chiefs is on the board there. But
that worked out.
I don't know. It's just a lot of Dallas in this game for the Chiefs. But I think Rashee Rice is going to play. It's Tuesday. I'm torn about this because the Dallas defense has looked better, but it's against the Raiders, who suck ass. And then the Dallas defense looked better once the Eagles decided to stop throwing, which I'm like, all right, now we get to see them versus Mahomes and Rashee Rice and everything. And the Chiefs just had 33 first downs last week, which Barnwell pointed out is the most any team has had in any game all year. So I kind of wonder if the Chiefs are going to be able to move the ball. But the flip side is, I mean, the Cowboys' offense with Pickens and CD looks fucking unstoppable right now. So it's kind of like Chris Jones' will he try game. And I think yes, because it's Thanksgiving.
Because the more people are going to be watching this game than any other game
that's
ever.
Who cares. It's Chris Jones cares, Craig.
Well, and he gets to eat the turkey leg if they win.
But that turkey, everyone says it's disgusting. Everyone says it's cold. It's been sitting there for like 7 hours. Everyone says it's hard. Someone
rubbery.
said that.
Why is it sitting out for so long? Why don't they just keep it in the oven, right?
No, they keep it in a fridge.
Why?
Because it was made like 8 hours ago.
Why? Why not just keep it hot in the oven?
Because they need a shot of it Now that you say it, it's weird that they have the shot of it on the sideline and they haven't eaten the same one. You'd think they could make 2 fucking turkeys.
Yeah,
and
what are we doing?
The answer is because they need footage of it 3 hours before the game. But now that I'm thinking about it, just have 2 turkeys.
2 turkeys. This is the NFL. They can't serve you a hot. They can't serve you a warm turkey.
We have 2 turkeys at our Thanksgiving because we can't agree on how to even cook it. So we just make 2. I don't know why Fox can't get 2 turkeys.
You have 2 different turkeys prepared differently?
We smoke one outside on a Weber kettle, and we cook one inside in the oven.
Who is a fan of which?
My brother smokes the turkey outside, and then my mom cooks the turkey in the oven. It's like the way my grandma would do it and the way my grandfather would do it.
It's kind of sick, actually. I kind of like that.
It's sick. I
don't hate that.
Which do you prefer? Smoked?
The smoked is higher degree of difficulty, but when done right, unbelievable. I don't think I'd ever fuck with frying a turkey just because... Just too many videos of people blowing up the videos. Yeah, I've seen too much. I've seen too much. But the smoked turkey's unbelievable.
Man, I got to come to your house for Thanksgiving.
If you don't like the turkey, man, you got to switch up the way you're doing it. I'm also I'm not good at many things, but I'm fucking incredible at carving a turkey. I got to tell you.
Really?
It's my only contribution in the kitchen.
Oh. What's the secret? Do you have a key?
Actually, yes. It's the thing that throws you off is you don't carve it. You tear it. It's like I use kitchen shears. I don't use I use a knife to get I just kind of, if it's cooked right, you can kind of just tear and snip at the joints and it should just come apart. But you don't actually want to cut it off. You want to just fucking pull it.
So you're not using one of those like mechanical knives?
My grandfather had that.
Like a Sawzall?
Those are awesome.
Those are sick. Those are fucking awesome.
Do you throw the gloves on to tear the turkey, or you going bare hands?
Oh, I just scrub up like I'm the bear and I go bare hands.
Yeah, okay.
It's too hot.
It is fucking hot. Yeah,
it's
every
like
year
fucking scalding your hands.
It's super painful. Yeah, it hurts. But it's the love of the game.
Yeah, that's true. You got to get your whatever, like calluses and whatnot going.
But we'll do that. That's maybe why they can't have the players doing the hot turkey. I want to find out. I don't know if Richard Sherman. Someone said they got a turkey leg once, and he said I thought I was going to crack a tooth on it. It was so cold. So keep an eye out on watch the tape when they give out the legs.
Who do you like in this game?
Probably Kansas City.
I'm going to go with Kansas City, although we have to make a blood pact right now. If the Cowboys win against Mahomes on Thanksgiving in front of the most watched football game of all time, we might have to admit that Jerry actually is the one who cooked.
100%.
Jerry's been cooking.
We should say a couple fantasy things. Isaiah Pacheco is going to be back in this game, and he's going to play. So I'm assuming Kareem Hunt will take a step back. It's funny. Kareem Hunt was quietly pretty good and was kind of like settling in. I saw a crazy stat about him. He has a 55% success rate on short down and distance runs. He's number one in 3rd and 4th and 1 attempts out of 70 like running backs.
How many? Yeah.
How many
times have you seen the first guy tackle him?
Like, listen to this stat. His 55% success rate is the highest mark among all running backs with 70 carries this season. Kareem Hunt has converted 21 of 25 carries on 3rd and 4th and 1 into first downs.
I don't think Kareem Hunt loses that workload for that reason because I don't care how Pacheco plays. The Chiefs, so Mahomes broke his kneecap doing a quarterback sneak in 2019. And then Andy Reid basically decided I'm literally never going to sneak him ever again. So the Chiefs are one of the 3 teams that don't do quarterback sneaks.
Which is like kind of dumb.
It's funny because it's how we would it's funny to think that like an $11 billion company runs their team that way. Where like,
it's like a little bit of like the food aversion where it's like I got sick on lasagna when I was 6, so I just never ate it again. It's like
it's like I don't do exactly. It's like I don't do tequila.
I don't eat cinnamon toast crunch anymore.
Yeah, it's like in a crucial moment. I wonder if it was in the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship or something, if they would sneak Mahomes.
I think they'd have to do it, but it's been 6 years and he doesn't sneak. So, yeah. I mean, they've been to 3 Super Bowls since then. And so, anyway, the Chiefs have actually been one of the worst short yardage teams on like 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 since they stopped sneaking. Like 6 years of them being terrible. And then Kareem Hunt this year has actually made them good. So I don't think he's going to lose that work. I'd be surprised watching him just Pacheco off 3 touchdowns. But I kind of be surprised if they just swapped out Kareem Hunt on these goal line packages now.
Yeah, Rashee Rice, full participant in practice on Tuesday, so he's probably going to play.
He's going to play.
Worthy? Are we playing Worthy against Dallas?
Fuck no.
Probably not.
Worthy's dead to me.
Talk about Waddle model.
No, Worthy's no, he's dead.
Actually, oh my God, wait a minute. I have his Waddle model up right now.
Is it 0? I bet it's 0.
It's 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
And was the 1? Did it get like 11 points the one time?
14.
Okay, cool. Good for him. Cool. Thanks Xavier. The last game of Thanksgiving. Fast guy. Bengals are at the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow back for this game.
It looks like.
That's fun.
Jamar Chase back for this game after the 1-game suspension for spitting on Jalen Ramsey.
Did you see his awesome apology that that was written by some PR people that didn't name Jalen Ramsey?
No.
What I did was wrong, I believe he said.
He said, what I did was wrong. We should stop pretending that these players wrote this stuff. But he said, finally, I want to apologize to my fans. I don't take anyone who wears my jersey for granted. I do not take my position as a role model lightly.
This is a fascinating game because, Ringer 107 this week, Bill, the all-powerful Bill Simmons, is allowing us to bet on the Thanksgiving games if we want to use that, to include that. So we're going to do Ringer 107 in the next episode, which is the preview episode, which will come out on Friday, but we're going to make the picks on Tuesday today. And so if we want to include one of these Thanksgiving games, we can do that. We can discuss that right now. But this game, the Ravens are 7-point favorites in this game. The Ravens, we went through this a little bit last week, have been terrible since Lamar came back from the injury, despite winning every game since he's come back. For the first time in his career, Lamar has 0 touchdowns in back-to-back games. It's the first time he's been held under a 60% completion rate and 200 yards passing in 3 straight games. He's clearly not healthy. It's bizarre. In 4 weeks, he's had 4 different injuries. He come back from the hamstring. The next week, he has a knee injury and misses practice. The next week, he has an ankle injury and misses practice. And this week, he had a toe injury and missed practice. I don't know what the Ravens are doing, if they're just coming up with new ones, or if they're like, there's like weird shit going on now because of that issue where they didn't consider him a full-time participant. But I don't know. DK, as Joe Burrow famously gets started slowly.
Right.
He didn't start the season hot at all. He's coming back. He hasn't played in 10 weeks. And yet the Ravens are also haven't looked worse. Do you feel like the Bengals getting 7 points here is like sneaky great, or do you not want to touch Joe Burrow? And there's no T. Higgins in this game, we should say.
My gut tells me right now, and you guys know what good that is. I'm kind of the cooler when it comes to these bets. I would bet on the Ravens here. I'm worried about the Bengals starting hot. I think their defense stinks. The Bengals have also been horrific against tight ends, and that's kind of what the Ravens do. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. It's like, are we going to see a third straight game when Lamar sucks? What are the odds of that?
Fucking really high, because we already saw 2 in a row. So
yeah, but this is the first fucking time in his career he's had 2 games in a row without a touchdown. Do you think he's going to go 3?
He's hurt.
I'm not going to argue that the Bengals defense is good.
You guys should probably just go opposite what I think.
I kind of do. I you know why? It's because Burrow's back. I've personally used up my lifetime allotment of doubting Joe Burrow. I think that, unfortunately, you know what I mean.
You're just.
I kind of spent it all. I just look. The Ravens, the Bengals defense is so bad. I think that's what this line is about, with the Ravens being favored by 7. But overall, every time any conversation about the Ravens for the last literally 2 months, I just feel like the conversation, I feel like there's like a game I missed, because it's like the Ravens were 1-5 and like, well, they're still at 8th in Super Bowl odds. And like I just keep waiting for them to play literally one game well from start to finish. And they have gone further and further from that the further into the season. They look good in week 1 and then they blew it at the end, and they look good against the Lions for a half and then they look terrible. And it's like they keep getting further. And you're right. On paper, we should take the Ravens against the Bengals, because in reality, I'm like, the Jets-Ravens game was 3-0 at halftime against the fucking Jets. And Tyrod Taylor and John Mechie and these are people that I don't know if they would be in the NFL in other circumstances or playing on the Jets. And that it was 3-0 Jets at halftime. How much do we need to see until we just admit that the Ravens aren't that good? Also, Kyle Hamilton's hurt. Is he even playing? What was the score
at the end of the game?
They said Kyle Hamilton could play. There's no. Trey Hendrickson's probably not going to play for Cincinnati. This is a game that Derrick Henry should have 200 yards rushing, and they should dominate this game and win like 28-10. But I have to say, my initial instinct when I first saw this line was like, I think I'm just going to take the Bengals +7.
I get it. I don't want to do that, but I get it.
Yeah, maybe we just stay away. But that was my initial read. Did you guys see Joe Burrow's Instagram announcing that he was coming back?
The LeBron thing?
Yeah. What did he do? No.
It's like a shot of him. It's like him taking a photo through his like mirror in his bedroom, and it's him standing in a LeBron James Cleveland Cavaliers jersey, and it just says he's back. Burrow is underratedly weird on the internet in a very fun and enjoyable way.
Joker for Halloween. He like did the thing with the hair, and he did the video of the like the fuck.
He's taking pictures of his crystals.
Like if he wasn't attractive, I wonder how we'd feel about Joe Burrow. Like
he's Conrad.
He's so cool and confident and is attractive, and yet he is kind of really nerdy.
Everyone who has seen The Summer Turned Pretty knows that Joe Burrow is just Conrad.
Yeah, I don't know.
In a lot of ways, you don't get it, but I'm 100% right.
How many people do you think that are listening right now get that?
Probably at least 6.
What percentage?
It's a popular show.
It's a very popular show.
I don't know the Venn diagram
pretty
of
great.
Summer I Turned Pretty and NFL fans. Probably not strong.
That's what I'm saying.
So, okay, so those are the Thanksgiving games. Do we want to do the Black Friday game now, or want to do it in the preview?
We should probably do it now.
All right, so the Black Friday games, Bears are at the Eagles. The Eagles are
another good game.
7. This is a good game. I mean, last year was 2 years ago was the Jets-Dolphins game. That was horrific. But
you know what? Part of me is like, I kind of wish it was a shitty game, because then I could actually spend time with my family. But
yeah, fuck that.
No. Sorry, Mom. Eagles-Bears at noon.
This game is at 3 o'clock on
noon.
Eastern.
Just dead middle of the day. What, you want to go on a walk? We're not.
Well, that you know what's so funny is I wrote a whole article about this for The Ringer a few years ago, but about how this game's on Amazon, it's Black Friday, and you see it now on Thursday Football. You can buy stuff directly, and I think that's one of the reasons in the middle of the day is Amazon doesn't want you to go fucking shopping. But the spread in this game is 7 points. I think that's funny that the Eagles are favored to win by 7, because the Eagles have only beaten one team by 7, more than 7 all year, and it was the Giants.
Yeah, and you can also go through every single Bears game, every single game there, and they win by like 2.
And so this game is, to me, like the most football cliche of all football cliches of the turnovers, where it's like the Bears defense has the most turnovers in the NFL, and the Eagles offense has the fewest turnovers in the NFL, and the Bears have the most interceptions all year. The Bears have 16 picks on defense, and the Eagles have the fewest interceptions all year because Jalen Hurts has thrown 1 interception, and in that game, they lost to the Giants. And this is, to me, this is going to be the classic Eagles turtle. They're not going to be like, oh, well, we got the ball to A.J. Brown and took the lead. They're like, no. They're going to turtle up. They're going to be like, we lost that game because Saquon fumbled and all this stuff. And they're going to turtle. They're going to python. The Eagles are going to, once again, take a 21-point lead, and then, which they've been doing all season, and then they let the team kind of take it back, and then they win at the end. And that's the Bears, too. The Bears fall behind, and then can't win in the first, can't win in the second. Like that, I know Schottenheimer said that, but that's really the Bears. And then the Bears are going to, like, this is like a classic, Eagles are going to take a lead, but they're going to win because they're not going to turn the ball over.
Which is perfect for Ben Johnson because that's right where he wants him. He wants to be down 21-3 in the third. That's right where he wants him.
But
can you think of a larger offensive coordinator play calling discrepancy in this game than Ben Johnson versus Kevin Petula? A more beloved versus more hated play caller in the league right now?
It's pretty good. No, that's the entire spectrum probably right now. Also in pregame speeches. I also want to note Bears are 8-3 and have a negative 3-point differential. They've been outscored by 3 points this season. They're 8-3.
That's wild.
They've won 6 of their 8 games by 5 or fewer points. And I wanted it. This is, as we said, the beginning of the Bears' schedule getting real, where it's like Eagles, Packers, Browns, Packers, Niners, Lions, and then the Lions in Week 18 beat the Bears by 5 touchdowns earlier this season. So it's like the Bears are winning the NFC North. They're 3-1 to win the division by the end of the year. The leader of the division is 3-1, and so I don't know. I kind of come down. I just think this is a Saquon get right game. I know we were talking about Saquon earlier in the episode, but the Bears allow 5 yards per carry, and they're still down their top 3 linebackers. And I kind of think the Bears are, to your point about yards before contact, the Bears defense is second to last in yards before contact. They allow like 3.5 yards before contact. And the Eagles, even without Lane Johnson, I actually am a little optimistic that Saquon gets going in this game. I also am a little dubious about whether the Bears, who actually on offense, the Bears rank first in yards before contact, and I kind of don't think that's going to happen with the Eagles' defensive tackles. But this is a big game for like the Bears' interior offensive line. We talk so much about. They got Drew Dalman at center, and they got Joe Tooney left guard, and they got Jonah Jackson at right guard. And like they earned their money this week against the Eagles' defensive tackles. 7
points is really high, and it's probably going to make me stay away. But I do think that this is a classic game the Eagles win, and it's like they're coming off the loss. People are going to be down on them. People are up on the Bears because they win all these close games. I do lean towards Philly, but 7 points is a lot.
Yeah, it's for the way the Eagles play. The Eagles don't believe in beating teams by more than 7 points. You know,
what are we doing about DeAndre Swift these days? He's a guy who's like almost made the burn book. He's almost made the Glansberg derogatory list. Are we playing him anymore? How do you feel about DeAndre Swift? Manunga is like really starting to take over.
I was gonna say this. Are there any players other than Caleb? I guess if you're playing in at quarterback, are there any players you actually want to play in this game? Like Rome Odunze has been completely unreliable.
I think Odunze's been fine. There's just like they haven't been able to connect, but it's tough because it's the Eagles. But I don't think Odunze's.
But from a fantasy point of view, are you excited about this?
I'm not excited to play the Eagles, but I'm not worried about Odunze.
I mean, I'm a little worried about Odunze.
Well, I'm worried because the Eagles and the Browns in the schedule, but I don't think he's playing poorly. I think.
But to Craig's point, the running back rotation is all kind of wonky right now. Monongai has kind of passed Swift, or at least they're like 50-50, and then they kind of ride the hot hand. I just think it's completely, all these players on the Bears are completely unreliable in fantasy.
Yeah, it's like a full rotation. The only guy you're probably, I guess, starting is Rome Odunze that you feel good about. And even he's unreliable.
Even then, I'm like, ugh.
Do we want to bet any of these games in Ringer 107? Do we like any of these?
Not enough. Just fundamentally laying points with the Eagles, laying points with the Chiefs.
Jargon.
Just betting on them to win by a field goal or more. No for right now. We can decide on the next episode. We don't have to worry about it right now. We can decide on the next episode.
Yeah, okay.
Fantasy Court?
Let's do it.
Fantasy Court's in session, baby.
Definitely don't tell anyone about this thing that you're doing.
I don't really want to be handcuffed.
The definition of an object is a material thing that can be seen and touched.
I love seeing the video of that.
I love the Craig Horlbeck Esquire. So Fantasy Court, this Fantasy Court case, the plaintiff here is Franco.
Franco.
F-Bone.
James? Dave? First name?
James Franco's been to other courts, I think.
Heyo!
Franco writes, I'm in a work league. And he puts work in quotes. And he says, I put work in quotes because I have not worked at this company for 2 years.
Okay.
Okay.
but I've won the last 2 seasons. So my former coworkers are keeping me in the league until I lose. I'm the only person in the league that does not work at the company. And I can't prove it, but I think the office is colluding to get me out of the league.
Who is this guy?
Who? Franco says, last year, while in first place, the team in second place traded away 3 players they got off waivers for Jamar Chase, Kyron Williams, and Jaden Daniels from the last place team. And it sounds like Franco basically kind of complained about it from afar over his personal email and then in a text until he got it vetoed. And he says this season it happened again. He's in first place again this year. And the same guy tried to trade Jawan Jennings and Rashad White from Derrick Henry. This also got vetoed. But then he says a few days ago, someone who had 2 kickers decided to add a running back. And instead of dropping one of their 2 kickers, they dropped Jalen Hurts. So Franco says, I didn't think this was collusion or malice. I just this is clearly a mistake. Like the guy tried to bench Hurts and fat thumbed it and dropped it, which happens. So in the group chat, Franco basically writes, hey, did you mean to cut Jalen Hurts? You have 2 kickers. Why don't we undo this? Because apparently this happened in the league earlier this year. Franco writes, I was called a liar and a snake in the group chat from a few members in the league, including the aforementioned cheater, saying I'm only complaining about Hurts being dropped because I have no free agent auction budget to spend and I can't bid on Jalen Hurts. Franco's like, I have Drake May. I don't even need Jalen Hurts. I just assumed this was a mistake. The commissioner said he would put Jalen Hurts back where he was on the team. And then the guy who dropped Jalen Hurts, who's just had the commissioner agree to give him back to the guy. And the guy who had Hurts and cut him snaps and says, hey, Franco, get off of my shit. You're in first and don't worry about me. Which I also read in Danny McBride's voice. Franco, get off my shit.
Oh, 100%.
So Franco says I'm getting accused of saying that I want Jalen Hurts dropped. I want Jalen Hurts undropped because I want to protect my spot in the league, and I'm afraid I'll lose and be kicked out. And he's like, I actually think that they're trying and really poorly colluding so that I lose.
I think it's a hilarious scenario that he's in a work league at a company that he no longer works at, and he can't stop winning, and everybody wants him out. It's a fucking hilarious setup.
It's incredible. And he says, also, you know how a lot of people are like, we'll take your result as binding. I like this one, too, because he says, so this league, they won't listen to your ruling because they're all business district boomers. But I just like the note that, like, whatever you decide, they're not going to listen to it.
Is there money in this league? Is this a money league?
I don't know.
So the guy who drops Hurts, did he admit that it was an accident or not?
He said it was at first. Okay. And then he was like, get off my shit, Franco.
Because he's embarrassed. He's like, you don't tell me how to run my team, all right?
This guy fucking kept Kaimi Fairbairn on fucking hip injury instead of Jalen Hurts. I think it's so fun. I actually believe him, though. I think he's right that they're like, fuck this guy. Imagine a guy leaving your company in the middle of the football season, and then he's in your league and he wins the league. You're like, fuck. And then everyone wants to kick him out. You're like, oh, well, he won the league. And then he wins again. And that was like, he hasn't worked there in 2 years. And then people are like, I totally think that these people were probably like, nah, fuck this guy.
What are we deciding, though?
I think he really just wants to know if he's not crazy or not. If he think that they're cheating.
I think his instincts are correct. I think there's something is afoot.
It's weird to drop Jalen Hurts, and then the commissioner's like, okay, you can have him back. That was an accident. And he's like, get off my shit.
I think this guy needs to try to stay in this league as long as humanly possible.
That's the new
Should we help him run the team? I guess he doesn't need any help. He's won 3 years in a row.
Yeah, he's doing just fine.
But the coworkers are conspiring, right? Like, DK, do you feel that way?
I think so.
I think so, too.
3 waiver ads for Jamar Chase, Kyron Williams, and Jaden Daniels last year.
Also, these weird trades that the commission. Also, shouts out this commissioner who feels like he's delivering justice appropriately, but like all these trades being vetoed that are super lopsided. Like, what's that about?
There's a lot going on here.
What was it? Derrick Henry for who? It was like
Derrick Henry for Rashad White and
somebody else who wasn't very good.
Jawan Jennings.
Yeah, like what are we doing? This is fishy.
That I wouldn't veto, except
rat.
in the Chase, Kyron, and Jaden for 3 waiver guys is pretty.
Yeah,
I think there's something going on in this league.
No, never leave. Never give up, Franco. Stay in this
Franco,
league as long as you can.
If you need help, Franco, we're going to help you. We're going to make sure you win again. Email us back, Franco. I just love the idea of being in a league for years because you can't stop winning. They won't get rid of you.
Also, I love that his name's Franco. I bet you they're like, Franco.
We got one email here. I have to read this one. This is from Joe.
Joey.
J-Bone.
Subject line, Heifetz is my wife's hall pass.
Oh,
Sweet Christ.
Joe writes, sorry for the fake subject line. That's a complete lie.
Oh, brilliant.
Just wanted to see if you guys would open this email because I still haven't gotten one on the show.
Heifetz printed out the Gmail page.
I forwarded to Jackie, hoping she would not open the email. So Joe writes, I'm the guy who gave you the Cloyce box at the Chicago live show.
Yeah.
This guy's behind Craig. This guy gave us a box with just pictures of Cloyce box on it.
Yeah.
And
It's a Cloyce box.
The Cloyce box. So Joe writes, I only add that again to get my odds of the show of getting this red go up. My breakfast, 2 poached eggs, hash browns, a piece of jalapeno cheddar, sourdough bread with black coffee.
Wow.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Sounds like a really good dinner.
I would eat that.
Breakfast. Poached eggs takes a little bit extra work.
Poached eggs
I respect
Poached eggs are good.
Poached eggs is perfect. I love poached. I love a jammy egg. Joe writes, I am emailing in because Craig brought up Hulk Hogan, claiming that Andre the Giant weighed over 600 pounds.
Yeah. Look, I'm not defending Hulk Hogan in any way.
Well, I kind of was saying I think Hulk Hogan's lying, and I think this listed weight is fake.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So Joe writes, I'm a huge wrestling fan, and all of us in the wrestling fan community know that Hulk Hogan is a notorious and awful liar.
Sure.
And then he linked to a Reddit thread of a bunch of things Hulk Hogan has claimed. And this brought me so much joy because there are so many crazy things that Hulk Hogan has said, and I distilled them down to just a few. But I wanted to just go through a few things Hulk Hogan. And I went through and I actually went and found the original. Like, these are real things. I've double-checked this. Starting with, Hulk Hogan claimed that when Metallica's bassist Cliff Burton died, Hulk Hogan was considered as a replacement to be Metallica's bassist, but it didn't work out.
These are like dad lies.
This is like the 80s version of LeBron now, where it's like, oh, I read that book. Oh, yeah. No, I'm a huge soccer fan.
Yeah.
Well, what was your favorite chapter of the book? I liked all of them.
I liked all of them. They were all good chapters.
How can you really decide,
Howard Stern asked one of the Metallica guys about this later, and they were like, who? Hulk Hogan also said that the director Darren Aronofsky offered Hulk Hogan the lead role for the movie The Wrestler multiple times, and that Hulk Hogan said he turned it down because he didn't deserve it. And then Darren Aronofsky's answer was also basically, who? Not really. He just said he never offered him the part. Hulk Hogan also said he was offered the George Foreman grills and missed the call, and the next day they called George Foreman.
I kind of believe that one.
I kind of believe that one too. Yeah. But my favorite one of all of these, and the reason I just thought this was very Craig specific. Craig, what's your favorite video ever on the internet? If you could have one internet video, what would you pick?
I don't know if I want this one forever. The first one that came to mind is the Country Boy. Oh, okay. I love you. I don't know why. There's a million.
I thought you were going to say the guy who's like, I got 3 days in one day. You wake up.
Oh, I fucking
like
love that
hours.
guy. 6 a.m. to noon, boom, that's day one. 12 to 6, that's day 2. 6 p.m. to midnight, that's day 3. Over the course of a week, I'm going to kick your butt. Over the course of a month, you're toast. Over the course of a year, I'm going to run the world.
So I wanted to read this one to you because I thought of you when I wrote this, Craig, and I was like, I have to read this on the show.
Oh, I love that guy so much. What's he doing now?
I don't know what that guy's. He's running the world. He's
like 170 years old right
somebody
now.
At this
so old. He's been dead for decades. So I thought of you, Craig, because Hulk Hogan wrote in his autobiography that he wrestled 400 days a year.
Okay.
I want to note, Hulk Hogan did not write that he wrestles 400 times a year. Hulk Hogan wrote that he wrestled 400 days a year.
He wrestles 8 days a week.
I mean, yeah, look, he lives on an alternate timeline.
Well, He said he did. Hulk Hogan said because he flew back and forth to Japan so much.
God damn it.
He's saving time.
He would gain 14 hours each time and land yesterday. So he had way more than 365 days a year.
Kind of genius. These guys, their schedules were absolutely insane, though. These guys got like no days off. If you watch that McMahon doc, they wrestled literally every single day.
Oh my God.
400 days a year is actually a hilarious quote.
Wrestled 400 days a year.
That reminds me, Craig, there was this guy famously, so I don't remember what airline it was, like Delta or whatever, that offered like a lifetime first class ticket for like whatever. If you buy it, it's like $250K. This was like in the 80s. And if you buy it, it's like $250K, and then you get unlimited first class tickets for the rest of your life. And this guy did it and like abused it so horribly. It was like he was actually going to like put the company out of business. He like would fly every day. He would like fly somewhere to go get lunch. He would like bring random people on the plane with him just to like get them free tickets.
He like divorced his wife and abandoned his children just so he could fly around as much as possible.
Forrest Gump when he started running.
Yeah. He was like flying every day.
He's just always flying between LA and Tokyo so that he's just constantly saving time. He just lives at one time that doesn't move.
After a month, you're toast.
I feel like that's like a subplot of Tenet. Is like, well, if you actually fly backwards through the time zones, you can live in between space and time.
I had to explain Tenet to someone the other day who had never heard of it, and they were like, "That sounds dumb," and I was like, "Yeah, it was dumb."
You know, I never saw Tenet.
I didn't either.
You didn't miss anything.
Just
swing and a miss.
A Christopher Nolan film coming out like on streaming. I feel like in the pandemic, I was like, it's not going to hit the same.
Okay, a bunch of people just got home and they're all happy and shit, like greeting each other. So we should probably get out of here.
Thanksgiving.
Fuck all this joy.
Too much happiness in the world. That's why. That's why we
go ruin it for everyone. Heifetz.
It's true. It's like things we're not thankful for. I'm not thankful.
Heifetz, go power rank all the people in that room and tell them who you're least thankful for.
I actually am going to do that right now. Thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Tucker.
Tuck
Everlasting.
I don't get that. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Ronak. Thank you, Hulk Hogan. Thank
Gen
you,
Z thing.
Austin.
No,
thank
Gen
you.
X.
Yeah, you got the letters wrong. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, The Naked and the Famous.
Don't think I know them.
You would recognize. At least, they have one famous song that you would recognize for sure.
I'm a little worried right now to Google Naked and Famous.
Young Blood.
I'm a little worried to Google Naked
Go to
and Famous.
Spotify.
Naked and Famous band.
What's their? Punching in a Dream. Is that their big song?
Young Blood.
Young Blood's their famous song.
Well, that's one I know.
Lady Gun. Oh no, it's just a random website. Never mind.
Ooh. Go to Spotify, Heifetz.
The Naked and the Famous, also known as Mr. Skin.
Nice. You want to know what my biggest nitpick is in movie history? Is that in the movie Knocked Up, Seth Rogen and all of his loser friends are creating a website called, I don't even remember what it's called. It's basically a Mr. Skin. It's called, it might be called Naked and Famous. And yet we are supposed to believe that in this world where all these dudes do is look up online photos and watch movies to find naked women, that they've never heard of Mr. Skin, because the movie ends with them going, it turns out Mr. Skin exists, so like our idea is shit. They were working on that for years and they never heard of Mr. Skin.
Yeah, but they're all
entire
stoners.
Life.
They're all stoner idiots.
Exactly. Those are the people who subscribe and pay and watch Mr. Skin. It's ridiculous. How would they not know what that is?
No, you're right.
Wait, probably. I need to know what the name of their company is. So funny. Knocked Up, Mr. Skin company name. Oh, what is it called?
I'm kind of learning what Mr. Skin is right now. Oh, got it. I figured it out.
You now know what Mr. Skin is?
I had never heard of that.
You had never heard of Mr. Skin?
I don't think so.
What?
Well, I mean, I'm now familiar.
Why is it so hard to find this?
I know. What is the name of the Mr. Skin ripoff and Knocked Up? Flesh of the Stars. There's no way in hell these guys don't know what Mr. Skin is, but it's all right.
I'm telling you for 10 damn years. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.